on several kind of virtues and values that, whether it's offering and nurturing and, a curiosity, a holding the space, a compassion, an assumption of innocence, a loving, all loving nature. What do you think are the important values and virtues to instill in children, or maybe it's to exemplify yourself as a mother, as a parent, as a sponsor of life?
It's a beautiful question. My experience and what I recognize is that these little ones come through with such wisdom, such innate knowledge, such an innate joy and capacity to love and to connect. So I don't know that we're instilling, but I do feel that, for us to be an example of a beautiful human being, whatever that looks like for you, to embody and to live the attributes, because we can't ask of another what we're not offering or living ourselves, whether that be kindness and consideration or gratitude of life. It's so interesting because, like, in my own path and watching, our little one here develop and grow and evolve. It's number one, all I want is her happiness. I have no expectation of what she should be or shouldn't be. I want what she wants. I think love wants what, the other wants. I want what makes her happy, what she feels attracted to or pulled towards, and I think that, I don't know. I think that's, it's different than I thought it would be, because I think there would be so much more that I would be teaching her. And I've never felt more like a student. I've never felt more like just learning by watching, by observing, and actually doing less. Oh, we have a visitor.
Visitor in the studio.
Hi, Tony.
Visitor in the studio. Hi, Tony.
How are we doing?
Good, how are you?
I just want to say, where's your little camera here? So you're on camera,
There he is.
There he is. I just wanted to say that these are the two best moms I know and the best people to cover this subject, because they don't just mother little ones. They mother everybody they love. They just bring a level of unconditional love that only mothers know how to give to everybody. I just want you guys to know I'm your biggest fans. And for all those listening, I hope you really enjoy this podcast, and I hope you have a magnificent Mother's Day. Love you, honey.
Thank you, Tone. Well, that was a nice surprise. And, Tony brings up an interesting point right there, because your path to motherhood was a journey, as it is for so many couples, for so many women, men, folks of all strokes, mothers and others, anyone who's wanting to bring a child into the world. It can truly be a journey. And so yours was over 2 decades. But we know that you, of course, were a mother. You embodied this energy well before you, quote unquote, became a mother. Mm-hmm. But even that, I don't even like to put that language to it, because, and I think it's important that we mark that out here explicitly, is that the path to motherhood is not just carrying a child, mm-hmm. or even, having a child. Mm-hmm. This is not that. And you were a mother and embodied this mother energy long before this baby got here. And so I'm wondering if you could speak to, those of us, if you know Sage well, everyone around us here in our inner circle, everybody kind of calls her Ma, hey Ma, hey Ma, Mom and Dad, Mama. So she was a mother to many before this little person came to earth. And I'm wondering if you could, I would assume that you felt that that was part of your role even then.
Yes.
And how was that different? And can you talk specifically about being a mom before baby, without baby, not even just before, without baby altogether?
It's true. I feel like I've been a mom my whole life, whether it's taking care and mothering my family, or I have a soft spot for elderly people. Those that enter this home, or our workspace, or our sphere, or even animals.
Not just people. I was going to say, she does not discriminate any species, squirrels, birds, you name it. If it rocks up our driveway, it's coming in. She's going to mother it.
I definitely have a soft spot for animals. And, we had this beautiful pelican that was all entwined and entangled with fishing wire. And, it was like one of the magic moments of my year last year, just the interaction helping this little one get free. And so it was it's been a longer journey than expected to motherhood. And I started, I think the first time I ever carried life, I was in my mid-20s. And it was the first time I also miscarried. I was around 26 or 27. I was 5.5 months or 5 months pregnant. And at that time, I will never forget the, grieving, the loss, the longing, all those realities to that experience. And at the time, I didn't have the wisdom I have now. I can look back now and really see the perfection of life and watch all of life unfold so perfectly. And, my experience was as I let go of what I wanted. I know this sounds crazy, but, in my 20s, late 20s, early 30s, I very much wanted to have a child. And, there's so many external pressures and, family dynamics. It's like, oh gosh, when are you going to have a little one? When are you going to, you know what I mean? And so, I think it was collective, and as well, it was my own. But it was for me. And as I surrendered that, as I accepted what life was offering me, life was so much more beautiful than what I was desiring. And I didn't know it at that time. I think that's a beautiful gift of evolution as we as human beings. It's like, we, through life, it humbles us and opens us and tunes us. And through that process of surrender and accepting what life was offering me, this life became that much more beautiful because, this path was chosen for me, and I showed up, and here I am after all these years. And it's, looking back in hindsight, there's a different level of wisdom and context to things, but there's just such a sweet beauty to the journey that I've been on. I had my own mothering of myself that I didn't even know was even needed, or I probably, even at that stage in my 20s, I didn't even recognize, the awareness. To me, I think I looked at motherhood as as an extension, that my own ignorance, I didn't recognize that it was an inflow and a receiving. Of course, any great lover, there's a giving and a receiving. There's an offering and a receiving, both perspectives happening. And I think as there was, I experienced a number of miscarriages in my 30s as well. And there were so many times that it felt like, I would never be, quote unquote, a biological mother. But what happened through that journey, it was my own path back to my own wholeness,